Hello and welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back to the channel, guys. There is big Barça news to discuss today, both the good and the bad, because we are going to be talking about Lionel Messi's contract renewal, which is on the verge of being done, but we are also going to be covering the damaging news, the very, very disappointing news that Ousmane Dembélé will require surgery and he is going to be out for a long, long time. All of that and the latest on Coutinho's future, it's coming up now, so let's get to it. But just quickly, first of all, guys, I do want to talk about Jose Gayà because he is somebody that we have discussed right throughout the summer so far, a potential left-back target that he has been for Barça throughout this summer transfer window. But I want to talk about the words that seem to have gone under the radar ahead of Spain's crucial game this evening against Slovakia at Euro 2020, because Gayà there was asked about his future, and he did speak there about his future plans, and it doesn't seem as though he's going to be moving on anytime soon. Because when he was asked there about what his plans were, he said, I have 2 more years left on my contract at Valencia, and he said, I hope to stay much longer at Valencia. Which are big, big words there when it comes to Gayà's future, because of course sometimes you'd think maybe that's just empty words there from the player, maybe he doesn't really mean that, but I think you look at Gayà, the kind of person that he is, in particular there, his connections with Valencia, of course right now he's their captain, he's grown up at Valencia, they're coming through their youth system, he's been there for 15 years in total now, so I really do actually believe him when he says that he wants to stay there. And look, that's fair enough, that is understandable, it's admirable really, given his loyalty, given the fact that we're they are right now, that may come at a detriment to his own personal career, but it looks like he wants to stay. And I think the only real possibility that he leaves this summer is if Valencia say to him, look, we need the money from your sale, we need you to leave for the good of the club. That's the only time it would happen, and that's maybe why now we're hearing other left-back targets being linked to Barça. I also do want to quickly cover Martin Braithwaite, because he is one of those players this summer who we are hopeful of selling, and there is indeed plenty of interested parties in Braithwaite. There was before the summer, and even more so now. I think at Euro 2020 he's been a really, really good player there at the heart of that Danish attack, and of course given everything that Denmark have gone through at this tournament, I was so happy to see that they did indeed reach the knockout stages, even if they will be coming up against my nation Wales. That is going to be a fascinating game this weekend. But on Braithwaite there, it's being reported right now in the Spanish media that there is plenty of interest coming from the Premier League, with 4 clubs in particular looking at him right now. West Ham United are one of those clubs, and that's interesting because they've shown interest in Braithwaite in the past as well. Brighton, they are in desperate need of some forwards this summer to put away the chances they were missing in front of goal last season. Burnley as well are interested, and also their newly promoted Norwich. So it does seem as though Braithwaite has got serious interest there, which is good news for Barça. We want to try and get there some of that Premier League money, raise that price, and get back as much as possible for the 18 million, of course, that we spent to sign Braithwaite from Leganés. But of course, guys, we do have to move on to Ousmane Dembélé, and it's funny, isn't it? Well, it's not funny, actually. It's incredibly disappointing and upsetting. But what I was saying there about Braithwaite being in the shop window, showing what he can do at Euro 2020 for all of those interested parties and what it can do for the transfer fee the club might get, we were kind of hoping that Dembélé will be doing the same. We were hoping right now that Dembélé will be showing what he could do in that France team, highlighting his quality for the whole world to see. But instead, it's disaster. And it truly, truly is. Dembele there, of course, injured against Hungary. He was subbed on and promptly subbed off in that game. At the time, it wasn't really known whether it was going to be a serious problem. Didier Deschamps, after the game, he didn't seem as though he was too concerned by it. He actually described it there as a bit of a bang on the knee. And even at the time, it didn't look serious. Dembele there hobbled off, but he wasn't carried off. He wasn't stretchered off. He didn't even go straight down the tunnel. But it was then confirmed he will be leaving the French camp, playing no further part in Euro 2020 before yesterday. Barça confirmed the following news. They said following tests there on Tuesday morning, it's been confirmed that Ousmane Dembélé has a dislocation of the biceps tendon in his right knee that will require surgical treatment. They then went on to confirm that Dembele will indeed undergo surgery in Finland, also operated on there by the same doctor who did his previous surgery in Finland, and that will be going ahead there on Monday. And honestly, guys, I just can't believe it. I cannot believe this has happened again with Dembele, because widespread reports now say that once Dembele there does go under the knife, once he does go through that surgery, he is going to miss 4 months. 4 months of action Dembele's going to be out for, and I just can't believe it. It seems like every single problem that Dembele ever has, whether it be a hamstring, whether it be a thigh injury, whether it be a knee injury, it can never just be a knock. He can never just be out for 1, 2, 3 weeks. It always has to be surgery and then months. I'm talking 4 months here. That's a third of a year that he's going to miss, and that means now that he's not going to be available until late October at the very earliest. And of course, that's assuming that everything goes well and that he recovers on time, which we haven't seen is the case from players previously like Ansu, like Coutinho, we're going to talk about, who've gone through surgery over the past year. And honestly, guys, it is crushing for us and, of course, crushing for Dembele. There is no chance now of selling him this summer. No club is going to take that kind of risk. No club is going to sign a player who is already arriving at your club injured for the kind of money that we would have been looking for. And what that does is put us and put Joan Laporta in a very difficult and awkward situation. Because as we know, Dembele has been delaying contract talks. He hasn't really been in any real rush to renew. There have been a few fears within the club that he was going to try and aim to leave the club for free when his contract expires next summer. And now you've got a problem, because Dembele is out injured. He can't be sold. So do you renew him? Do you actually now say, you know what, we're going to get a renewal on the table? Because otherwise, he's going to leave for free. He is going to leave for absolutely nothing. But if you renew him, you're renewing an injured player. Somebody right now who is on huge wages, on very, very big wages for what he's actually contributing. And let's face it, he is not playing enough football to warrant that. So I think right now we are in a very, very precarious situation. One thing that maybe could be put out there is a very small renewal. Maybe they're a 1-year extension just to sort of protect ourselves and try and get some sort of fee next year for Dembele. But I don't think he'd agree to that. I think if he's going to renew, he wants 3, he wants 4 years. It was reported before that he actually wanted a wage increase. Surely now he can forget about that. But this is a very difficult and damaging situation. I can understand that many people here losing patience now with Dembele, saying, look, we need to get rid of him now this summer. But it's just not possible. No club here are going to come in and sign Dembele now that he's out for this long. It hurts. It's disappointing. It's disrupting for our summer plans. And of course, we'll hope. Despite the frustration, I hope Dembele recovers well. I hope that he can overcome the surgery. I hope that everything is going to be fine there in his recovery. And I think we're all going to be waiting around, looking to see what the club do next. And from one record signing to another, because I want to talk here about Philippe Coutinho, who right now appears to be very much the forgotten man. People actually thought that in my last video on the channel I completely forgot that Coutinho existed, but actually I just personally don't class him as a forward in this team. But he does give off that feeling right now, doesn't he? You go through days, you talk about the Barcelona team, quite often you actually forget that Coutinho is still a part of this team. And according right now to Globo, usually a very reliable source there in Brazil, Coutinho is entering the very final stages of his recovery from his injury there that he suffered at the end of 2020. He, of course, had complications. He should have been back sooner than he was, much in the same way that Ansu was. He underwent surgery there back in April, but apparently now he is nearing the end of what has been a difficult journey and a difficult recovery, and he's said to be training in Brazil. And I think, again, it is going to be very interesting to see what happens this summer with Coutinho, somebody who has been linked away from the club now season in, season out. It has not worked out for him since he arrived there for that record 160 million euros. Honestly, that makes me want to cry, because that is such a huge amount of money that Bartomeu has spent that we did not even need in the first place. But look, what's going to happen with Coutinho? Is he going to move there back to the Premier League? There have been a few links to Leicester in the media, but nothing too concrete at this stage. And what I will also say is, right throughout the injury period, I think he has been quite distant from the the rest of the team. There is a reason why we're sort of forgetting about Coutinho right now, because he hasn't been around. You know, obviously you look at Ansu, you look at players like Piqué, who went through surgery, who've been out for long periods, and even when they were injured and, away from the team, you still saw them in and around the club. They were still there turning up to games, they were still with the squad. Whereas with Coutinho, we just haven't really seen him. He's not really stayed a part of this team during his time away, and I just feel like now, it feels like the end for him at the club, but as it has been for several transfer windows, it's about finding a club out there who can finance the deal and afford to come close to Coutinho's huge wages. Finally though, guys, I do want to bring you some good news in today's video. I think by now, with what we've discussed today, we have all earned a bit of good news, so let's hear talk about Lionel Messi, because as we know, right now, it's pretty nerve-wracking, because Messi is entering the final days of his contract at Barcelona. Of course, he's away at Copa America, but his contract right now, it expires at the end of the month, so these are really nerve-wracking days for us Barcelona fans, but even though he has been away at Copa America and will continue to be so, discussions on that renewal have still been ongoing. And according to the media in Spain right now, widespread reports, this has been something now that is almost confirmed. The final details of that new deal, they are being confirmed and completed as we speak, and we are nearing the phase now of that official announcement. We are really, really close here to hearing that Messi is confirmed to stay at Barcelona, and there even have been a few suggestions there that maybe the official announcement, the confirmation that Messi is going to stay, could happen on his 34th birthday, which just happens to be tomorrow, on Thursday. That would be absolutely tremendous timing, in my opinion, and it would be a welcome boost for us all. What we know right now about that potential new deal is that whatever happens, Messi will be taking a pay cut, and people who've questioned his loyalty, people who've questioned the amount of money that Messi makes in Barca, he could have left this summer, gone anywhere there. PSG, Man City, he could have doubled his salary, he could have trebled his salary, but no, he is going to stay and reduce his current wages to help the club in our financial situation, and that new deal there is likely to run for 2 years until 2023, but don't worry, that is just the initial deal. There is nothing to say there that cannot be extended. There's nothing to say that in the very near future there won't be more time there added to that deal. That is simply just to get things underway and to ensure that Messi stays at the club. And of course, guys, we've got to give credit here, if and indeed when it is going to happen, to Joan Laporta. During the entire election period, he said time and time again that I am the man who can help keep Messi at this club. He promised there to do everything in his power so that Messi would continue at Barca. And now it looks as though he is about to succeed and deliver when this club needed it most. So please, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below on everything we have discussed in today's video. There is plenty to dissect here, from Gayà to Braithwaite, the very, very disappointing news about Ousmane Dembélé. What do you make of Coutinho's situation, and what do you see happening with him this summer? And of course, boosted there by the news that Messi is set to renew, the official confirmation is coming very, very soon. I will see you then, guys. That will be a good video, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you indeed for all of your comments and all of your support. And of course, I will see you soon. But until next time, as always, Visca el Barça.